Welcome to the Dad Show podcast. How y'all doing? Today is part 5.
One of the last few nights Rachel was really with it. We got to have a final date in the hospital. And she had written in her phone, 8 things that she wanted from me, that she wanted to discuss with me, before she died. And she was kind of in and out of consciousness at the time, but I don't know when she wrote these things down in her note. It could have been a year ago. I have no idea. Yeah. So she had me read them to her. And I can't recall all 8, but one of them was just, you need to be good. You need to be okay. You need to be okay moving on. Yeah. Finding love again, and true Rachel fashion is like, not tomorrow. That's weird. Not 2 weeks from now. That's weird. But like, you have permission to be okay and to be happy and to, for anyone from the outside to look in and say, well, he shouldn't be okay, or he should. All Rachel wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
And, and if you have lost somebody suddenly, that's all they want.
Yeah.
They didn't get to tell you that, but they just want you to be okay.
How selfless does that take somebody to be,
Bro.
I know some people would be like, you are never, ever again. And
isn't that the truth, bro?
But man, for her to just want your true happiness and for you to live a life being joyful and instead of, no, you're never again when that happens.
She would say you have so much more life left to live, so much love to give, and you deserve that. The kids deserve that, choose wisely.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Exactly.
What
was the graphic I seen the other day? Something about choose the woman that you want your daughter to be whenever she grows up.
Mm-hmm. And that the truth,
I was like, wow, that is, because we look right now at, what we see on the outside rather than, like looking years down the road. And that's just 100% Jesus coming out in her to be that selfless, like. I don't know that I'd have been that way. Man.
Yeah,
me either.
I don't know that I could have fathomed. I know she would have moved on. I get that, but I don't know that I could have fathomed in that position being like, you're good. Go be with another man.
Me either. I don't know that I could have said those words.
I know, man.
Because I want my kids, if something, God, happens to me, then I want my kids to have that male figure in their life to be, because I truly believe, and I don't want to go off on no rabbit hole or anything, but that's what's wrong with our society today is not, and that's the meaning for the Dad Show, is to have present dads, loving dads, caring dads, and in the home, man. I feel like that, and my kids, your kids, everybody's kids needs that male role model. My dad was present. He coached our ball teams, but he was going all the time working.
Yeah.
And he was a lineman here at the local utility board. And so overtime came, he would take it, and I find myself doing those same things, but I had my grandfather who was retired and he lived right next door, and that's who I clung to. Yeah. And yes, he's my grandfather, but he's almost like my second dad because, that was my male role model, and we need that in the home. I think it could cure so many things, man. If
good.
Just have present dads in the home. So, I appreciate 100% what you're doing, because it could easily, somebody in your position, like turn to substance, turn to other stuff, run away, not want to continue on being the dad that you're being. And you've said multiple times that, did you do it 100% correct? Did you all make the correct decisions? And, everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard, man, I can say you may not have made it 100%, but you've done it the way God wanted it to be done. And, man, I appreciate 100% everything that you've done and continue to do. And, I'm very inspired by that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Same to you, man. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I think you're right. This matters. Allowing dads to sit here and be vulnerable and talk about the hard and talk about the struggle and talk about the real. We don't do that on the golf course.
No.
We don't do that, over a football game. And so to create an avenue where it's okay to just talk about the hard, man.
Yeah.
It's important, and it's lacking. It's lacking. So good for you to give people an avenue to do it, to listen to it, to chat about it. So I'm rooting you on, man. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. If there's any advice that you had, and I know you're a member of quite a few groups of widowers and stuff of that nature, if there's any advice that you had to give to any listener that may be out there listening that needs that extra assurance, that extra help of where to turn, whether they're going through something similar to what you've been through or they've already went through it.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice that you just want to give them?
Man, turn to him.
Amen.
I mean, I know that's cliche, but also I think accept help. I had a hard time allowing people to help. I thought I could do it all because we're men, man. We don't need help.
Exactly.
I don't need help. But love shows up for people, and if people want to show up for you, let them show up.
Yeah.
That's what love does. That's what Rachel was a professional at, was showing up. She was she walked in love, and all of us, like you said early on, all of us are going through a hard or just went through a hard or coming up on a hard,
Yeah.
And to allow people to hold the space with you and show up for you. It's not unmanly.
Yeah.
To let someone show up and love you. It's not unmanly to let someone take something off your chest. It's not unmanly to sit there and allow someone to just show up and cry with you. That's not unmanly. I think culture may disagree with that, but it's sad. That's not the case. So I think just allowing people in to love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. That's one thing that going through what we went through, we never asked one person to hold a fundraiser for us. We never asked one person to do basically anything for us. People would message, say, hey, what do you need? What can you do? And, when you're going through that, man, that's the hardest questions to answer, like I'm going crazy. I don't know what I need,
all the things.
And, so man, I want to just give people the gumption, whatever you want to call it, that if you feel led to do something for somebody, just do it,
bro.
Because when you're going through these, like, you can't give those answers.
That's the name of the book. That is the name of the book, because that's a big part of it. I got so many. What can I do? I have no idea, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Love just does.
Exactly.
It just shows up.
Yeah.
If that's coming to walk your dog, that's a thing. If that's helping with the kids to get them to school, that's a thing. If it's dropping off a meal, that's a thing. If you don't know how to cook and you want to send a Uber Eats gift card, that's a thing. Don't ask what you can do, just do.
Just do it.
But do not looking for something in return.
Yeah.
Do not even looking for a thank you. This isn't about you, the doer, right? Love just does. And that's what, again, Rachel was so good at. And that's why I remember we named the book that way, because she said that. She's like, you just do. That's what you do. You show up and you love. And again, no one will do that perfectly, but stop asking what you can do, because we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it. Just do
it. So that's a good point. Let's bring up the book real quick. You wrote a book, Just Do.
Yep.
And where can people go find that at?
Yeah, I mean, it's on Amazon. Brandon Janous. I'm the only Brandon Janous there is, so it's not hard to find. It might be on my Instagram. I'm not sure, but this is not a plug to buy the book. I just give you the book. If you message me, I'll give you the book. I'm not trying to sell books anymore.
But if you want to support,
if you want to support and give me my $3 from Amazon, that's great. But man, that was a fun project, man. It talks a lot about the RV stage, because I had started writing when we lived in the RV. That's when I got excited about writing these stories down that I was learning from being present. If you just sit there and you watch your kids and the things you learn from them, there's a ton of fun stories about just being dad, man, and all the lessons I learned that year. And then it gets into Rachel, getting sick and walking that walk, and a little bit about the aftermath, because I finished it after she died. But it's a fun read. It's not, there's some hard, there's the last date is in there. I wrote about the 8 things that she wanted from me. And that was something I had never talked about till the book. And I remember writing that chapter, just bawling, bro.
Yeah.
But it became my therapy, and I loved the project. I loved doing it. So yeah, grab a copy, message me if you want. I'll send you a free one, whatever. It's just a fun read if you want to know more.
So going through one last question before we close, and it's kind of a two-parter because I want to say it goes together in the aspect in your story. You've been through this with Rachel. You've been through marriage. You've been through the cancer diagnosis, the hospital journey, the passing away, all that. And you just mentioned, and I didn't know this, so this question just came to me whenever we started this podcast, that you are starting to date again.
Yeah.
So now that you're starting into a relationship again, what changes? What did you learn, or what did that whole journey teach you to want to do today, and go along with that? What did you learn from your journey that you want to ask husbands or wives to put into their marriage and their relationship today?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. So I've dated a couple people since Rachel died. I'm not going to get into specifics, but you have to find a person that's going to allow you to love two people.
Yeah.
Because I'm always going to love Rachel.
Yeah.
And so to find a person that will come in here and love Rachel alongside you and not feel like they're competing.
Yes.
Not feel like Rachel's coming back.
Yeah.
Not feel like Rachel's up here, so I can't be there. There's not a compare. Rachel's cheering you on, man.
Yeah.
Rachel is your number one fan. She wants you to be great.
Yes.
And so that's important. Finding someone that will love those kids, man. Like when you're dating as a single dude, it's just me. You just gotta love me.
Yeah, exactly.
But to have someone come in and love those kids and make space for their mommy and talk about their mommy and
not try to replace.
Not try to replace, bro. Dude, that's not. I'm not trying to replace her, nor should she be trying to replace, that's not what we're doing here. There's no replacing.
Yes.
It's coming in and picking up the torch Rachel lit and just carrying it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not, and you didn't ask this question, but I found someone that also lost their spouse in a car accident. And so is able to hold such an incredible space for Rach, and I'm able to for her and her late husband. And we're able to just share stories and talk about the good and the bad and the hard and the struggle and the happy and all the things that come along with marriage and
healing together.
Healing together. And the space that she's been able to come in and hold for my kids, man. Cooper, share a quick story. My parents had their 50th wedding anniversary not too long ago, and my girlfriend came out for it. She doesn't live here, but she came out for it. And a song came on that Cooper and Rachel danced to. It's on my Instagram. I think at the top of it that it was Rachel's last dance. It was January 16th, I think, right before we went to the hospital. We were at family dinner and a song came on, and Cooper and Rachel had done a choreography to it. And so they're dancing. And we all knew, like, Rachel, this might be the last time Rachel dances. And that brought her so much joy. And she and Cooper did this dance for, I think it was 2 minutes and 13 seconds or something like that. And knowing the pain Rachel was in, knowing every time she moved, it was her head throbbing, her back hurting. But she gave her these 2 minutes and 13 seconds of just being present, and all of us, there was probably 20 of us there, were just zoned in on, like, man, this is a big deal.
Yes.
And that song came on at my parents' anniversary party, and everybody that was there knew of that song, right? And so Cooper goes and does the dance by herself. And it was really cool, and everybody was cheering her on. It was fun. And but we got home that night, and Cooper's not my emotional one. Cooper knows mommy's in heaven, and she's good with that. That's enough for her. Yeah. But she started bawling, and she said, man, Daddy, like, that was so hard to do without mommy. Yeah. So hard to do without mommy. And I held some space with her for a minute, and then I went downstairs because I was entertaining other people, and Kim, my girlfriend, went into the room with Cooper, and she was gone for an hour and just laid with her and cried with her.
Wow.
And apologized that her mommy wasn't here, and said, I'm sorry, I can't be your mommy. But I'm here, and just held the space with her and hugged her and cried with her. And it was this whole thing. And the next day, Cooper sent, she called her Miss Kim, a message and said, I'm really sorry my mommy's not here. And I'm really sorry Mr. Ryan, who's her late husband, isn't here with you. But I wouldn't trade you being here for anything in the world.
Wow.
Thank you for crying with me. Thank you for loving me. And I was like, man, that's a big deal.
She's carrying the torch.
Dude, she's carrying the torch. That's it. She's carrying the torch. And so like that moment for me was like, man, I don't know where this ends. I know that someone has come in here and held such a beautiful space. In a really, I was talking to Kim about this the other night, in a really tough season, teenage girls, man, you know, and to be able to come in and walk that walk with them, and they're so comfortable. And that's a whole nother podcast, but we don't need to get into dating life, but that's been so, for the first time since Rachel died, I feel like I have a partner to equally do things with. Like, she just shows up so well, not just for me, but for the kids. And to think Rachel's not cheering her on and saying, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, like,
that's beautiful.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I never planned a date at 44 years old. That wasn't my plan. You know, that's not how I scripted this, you know, but to find someone, because I have a lot of life left to live, a lot of love left to give.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I deserve her, but my kids do.
Yes.
You know.
And perfectly placed.
Yeah, man.
Whether it goes further.
Sure.
For right now and this season,
man,
it's God's plan.
Yeah, that's
100%.
Exactly right, man. It's no accident. Exactly. And we feel like Rach and Ryan are rooting us on like crazy up there. and it feels good. It feels good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know what the second part was, but
what do you recommend from going through what you've been through? What advice would you give husbands or wives right now to be sure they nurture their marriage?
Yeah,
like I always say, your car, you take it in for maintenance, you get an oil change.
Yeah, man.
You know, if you don't do the same with your marriage, the engine's gonna break down, and it's gonna, you know, what is it right now? Like 52% divorce rate of getting married. So you're already in negative odds whenever you say I do. And so going through your journey, what is one thing that you recommend spouses to do to be sure they check in their marriage, they nurture their marriage, they build it up and make it stronger? Yeah,
that's so good, man. Prioritizing one another. You know, you said it, dude, like it takes maintenance.
Yes.
You know, Rachel and I were not perfect, far from it, you know. But kids can be a distraction.
Yeah.
You know, in such a beautiful way, but like they can be. And so to make sure you are focused on the main thing, whether that's a weekend away every once in a while, whether that's just a night out, just the two of you, and maybe don't talk about the kids. Try that, dude. Like, man, I mean, because they dominate our lives, which is great, you know, like, but to just go and just be, I mean, man, I remember Rachel and I had a trip to Costa Rica for a wedding, and we hadn't had a trip in so long because kids just dominate. The schedules are hard, and just falling in love all over again, man. You just realize, man, this is what
exactly
we fell for, right? And so, you know, and so then every year after that, we'd make sure at least twice a year we'd do a trip together because that was important. But not easier than that, but something to do on a daily basis is just notice, man.
Yeah,
just become a noticer. You know,
that's huge. Like,
on both sides, man. Like, there's so many balls that would be dropped if one of them disappeared. You know, and so just.
Well, it's what you said earlier. You know, like you don't notice the dishes not being done. You don't notice the laundry. So whenever you say thank you for doing the dishes, thank you for cooking dinner, thank you for making my haircut appointment. You know, like those little things. People are going to remember that,
dude.
And so it's going
easy to take for granted, man.
You know, it's hard to say that somebody's going to do the laundry even better, you know, but it's with you showing thankfulness and being
she did
grateful.
The laundry a lot better. I will tell you that, dude. That's the truth. But you're right. Like just,
Just acknowledging
it, man.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it, because we it's just expected to be done, right? I mean, a little like my dad, my mom has never pumped gas in her life.
That's why my grandmother
to this day.
Yeah.
To this day. Like, no clue, wouldn't have any idea. My dad just makes sure those things are done.
Yeah.
You know, and if something were ever to happen to my dad, I'm gonna be pumping gas. You know,
well, I think my wife has taken that to heart, because every time I get in her car, it's on E. So.
Yeah, but I mean, good for her, you know. And my mom has never opened her own door. My dad's opened every door for her,
That's
you
so
know,
awesome.
and it's just,
we got to get your dad
dude,
on here,
until
man.
she will stand at the door and wait. Like like she will wait for someone to open that dang door. And, you know, she's not a princess, but man, he sure treated her like one. And so like, and my mom takes such good care of him, you know, in the same ways. Right. And so, I like to think I did the best I could with Rach. Again, failed miserably, but I'm a better human. I'm a better boyfriend. I'm a better dad. I'm a better coworker because of what I learned walking the walk with Rach, you know. But I would just tell you, just notice, man. Just be a better noticer, because man, you don't know what you got until it's gone.
And cherish everything that you got. Like, you know, that was one of the biggest things with our kids, was learning to live every day like it's your last. And I still, like you said, I still fail at that every day. I still get distracted. I still get deceived. But you got to remember, like, you know, I can't remember exactly what it was with my wife, but she was so frustrated at something my daughter had done, or something, maybe she smarted off to her or something. I'm like, be thankful that she's here to do that to you. Like, you know, because it could be so much worse. And that, you know, that's an easy, not a cop out, but, you know, that's an easy statement to make. But man, whenever you put it into your life and you try to live every day like it's your last, like you said, if I'm on my phone and my son walks up or my daughter walks up, I don't just continue here and like, okay, you know, trying to keep the conversation with them. No, I try to, it may be a second, it may take me 30 seconds. I need to finish that text, that email. Okay.
Yep.
What do you need? Like you said, bring your full
whole face, man. But if it's going to be 30 seconds, tell them it's going to be 30 seconds. If it's going to be 5 minutes, tell them it's going to be 5 minutes. Because again, like, you know what they don't understand? It'll be just a little bit. It'll be just a minute turns into 30. Yeah. Like, hey, I need 5 minutes. Hey, I'll set an alarm for 5 minutes, and then make it 5 minutes. Right. Yeah. You know, again, there you go. Perfect. But that's something that I've had to do too, because like, you know, I do have to work. I do have to do things, right? But when Macklin wants to go throw the football and I need 3 more minutes, Macklin, give me 3 more minutes. I'll be there, you know, and like really sticking to your word. Because then the 5 minutes throwing the football with him is an eternity.
Exactly.
And it's more important than anything in the world.
Anything in the world.
Yeah, man.
You're not going to remember the business meeting you make.
No.
But you're going to remember that time whenever your son threw the perfect spiral and you're like, great job, man. You know?
That's it.
Brandon, I just want to thank you for being here today, man, for sharing your story, your testimony about your kids, being a dad, Rachel,
thank you,
your life now. I can't express from my heart enough just how thankful I am.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Let's get dad on. Let's get granddad on. Let's go do this.
Let's do it. Yeah. I would love to, man. That would be an awesome podcast to have us all sitting there. If our audience wants to go and connect with you more, is there somewhere that they can find you at?
Instagram, Facebook is probably easiest. It's Brandon Janous, Janous. So there's only one of me. There are some imposters out there, but I think I might have a blue check. So I'm the only one with the blue check. But yeah, just that's where I share a lot of my stories. I'm not as active as I once was because it's a distraction.
Exactly.
You know, I get people telling me all the time, I wish you would post more. And I just I try to keep it to a minimum. So
what really matters.
Yeah, it's exactly right, man.
Yeah. So
thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. If y'all want to go follow along with Brandon, you know where to find him at. I ask that you follow all Dad Show social media at the Dad Show Podcast. As always, I want to thank you for being with us. We love you. We care about you. And we're proud of you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Show Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Show Podcast. Please like, review, and subscribe.